Hello, everybody. This is Matthew Jacobs, President of Media Relations with Ohio Weather Specialist, and joined.
I am Jeremy Fagan, CEO and owner of Ohio Weather Specialist.
And today we're joined by another special guest in our series of interviews with all the people who are important during severe weather days. Today we have. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
All right, I am Rick Evans. I am the director for Richland County Emergency Management Agency.
Yes, sir. And we'll hop right into it here. So, how long have you been working with the EMA?
I've got about 7 years in. I've got 2 years in as director, and before that, deputy director for 5.
Quick question for you, Rick.
Sure.
Just out of curiosity, what do your daily assignments consist of as the EMA director?
How much time do we have? A lot of course, emergency type planning. We do the county's emergency operations plan. We maintain that. Actually, we're in the process of updating that to include a lot of the COVID information. We also do the Richland County mitigation plan. We just finished that update back in December, and that is at FEMA right now for their approval on that. I work with the local emergency planning committee, the LEPC. We're responsible for hazardous materials plan. We update that. Day-to-day operations can include any and everything. Of course, with the pandemic, we've been getting PPE shipments from the state. It comes to me, then I dole that out to the first responders, nursing homes, hospitals, other organizations that may need that. It just any and about everything.
Sounds like it's never ending.
It's been a busy year, challenging but busy.
So I know that you said you do a lot of things, but what would you say your favorite part, or maybe a few things about your job that you really do enjoy?
Back before I got into the EMA side of things, I was first responder, fire, EMS, that type of thing, hazmat. So it's been a good transition for me over into the emergency management, where we do a lot of planning. I work with a lot of different county partners, the hospitals, the nursing homes, and just helping them with emergency operations plans and kind of just conferring with them and moving them along. So really, it's a lot of things to do. It's a lot of different stuff every day, but just enough routine to kind of make it nice too. So you just really never know. I mean, I still respond out with the hazardous materials team if there's a spill somewhere. I still go out with them on that. So it's very nice.
Now, I got a quick question for you. What is CERT?
CERT is the Citizens Emergency Response Team. They are a group of volunteers that work for the Emergency Management Agency, and they do light search and rescue. They are trained in traffic control, and one of the primary functions of them is my damage assessment team. If we have a storm go through, it does a lot of damage, like we had a tornado in Shelby about 2 years ago. Teams go out and assess the damage, and they get those reports back to me, which in turn I have to turn those over to the state to see if there's enough damage for a declaration of disaster. So they're a very important team. They meet monthly. Of course, with COVID, things have been kind of crazy with that, but they are still actually working with the health department right now and helping them with their vaccination plan.
Nice.
So you kind of explained it. How do you and CERT work together? Are you guys two separate organizations, or do they work under you, or how does that exactly work?
They work under the emergency management. A lot of different directors in different counties have CERT teams that work with them. And again, the workload is varied like that. Like I said, they do damage assessment. We've had to do traffic control at major accidents, that type of thing. They can do search and rescue. They do, they training for first aid, stop the bleed. They do all that. So um, they're located here in the building with me. They have their own supplies, that type of thing. And like I'm just reaching out to them today. We're doing one of those mobile vaccination clinics the state's doing, and they've asked for some help to do that. So we're going to use certain numbers for that also.
Pretty cool. I have another question for you. What is the role of the EMA director during severe weather days?
Fair weather, working with national weather, of course, we get the heads up type alerts coming from national weather. We're in contact with them, and they may actually call me direct, or I may call them direct. Hey, what's it look like for Richland County tomorrow? And they kind of give me a heads up that way. So then what I do in turn is when they put out the alerts, things like that, I have what I call a weather group within my county, email those alerts too. Different county department heads, like the sheriff's department, commissioners, things of that sort, mayors, that type of thing, information out.
And so, how exactly is it that you guys coordinate with the National Weather Service? Who is your local office, and how much communication do you have with them during possible severe weather events? So, you kind of touched on that a little bit. But who is your local office, and do they stay in constant communicate? Like, so I know, for example, in Van Wert County, the rule of thumb usually is if it hits Wells County, Indiana, usually our National Weather Service and our EMA directors are kind of coordinating with each other. So, how does it work up in your neck of the woods?
Really along the same type of line like that. Like you said, we're mostly out of the Cleveland office, but I do get the alerts and things from the Wilmington office because Richland County is kind of right on the edge of the Cleveland district. So, and usually anything that's coming our way comes from the west, southwest, that type. So, coming out of the Wilmington office, I do get those alerts, and I can either call them or I can call Cleveland Weather and talk direct to them. Um, Mostly during like snow type season is when I'm really in contact with them, maybe on a daily or a couple times a day basis to kind of get an idea of what we might be getting. Um, if it's high wind, something like that, we usually get a heads up from them that said, hey, your area is going to be coming here within the next 12 hours, 6 hours, whatever maybe you might be looking at that. So yeah, there's times where we're in constant contact back and forth, what might be coming.
Gotcha. Now, how do you guys, how do you coordinate with the local law enforcement during the severe weather events?
Like I mentioned before, if I get the alerts from the National Weather, heads up from them, what I do is my weather group that does go to law enforcement, whole county sheriff, individual police departments, things like that. So they all get that information. As far as maybe like snow coming, this type of thing, or we do a level 1, 2, or 3. I talk with the sheriff direct. We kind of discuss, the weather that's coming, the weather that's here, what his road deputies are seeing out there. I'm seeing out there if I'm not driving around, assessment on it, and then we'll both make that information what level we might want to
And so, how do you and your local county Skywarn program, how do you guys operate together during severe weather?
got a group, Skywarn, it's made up mostly of ham radio operators. So if I'm getting the notices, it's also going out to them, and plus they get their own some national weather also. So they kind of disperse out throughout the county. They've got members all throughout the county, and they kind of go into the watching mode. They may pre-designate areas that they'll be looking at. They'll go out and just kind of keep an eye to the sky like that. The coordinator for that will let me know kind of what's going on, what he's seeing out there, and we kind of make some determinations from that if we need to go further.
But the next question was going to be about what role does amateur radio play with the county during severe weather events, but I think you just answered that
I
one.
think we did, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
they're
not
very,
that's
yeah, they're an active group. They've been out, been doing this for many, many years. And they usually host the Sky Warden classes for me. They'll put those classes together for national weather, and we'll have members come in. We try to maybe have a class in the southern part of the county, then a class in the northern part of the county to kind of get people drawing in from all areas like that. But they're very active during any storm.
and just so everybody knows, these classes are free to the public, correct?
They are free, yes. Yes. Right now, they're doing some virtual classes, and if you go to the National Weather Service website, you can pull up that training schedule that they have. A lot of my members have already done the virtual classes this year, looking at maybe doing a face-to-face, but we're still kind of back and forth on that. But hopefully this time next year, we'll be back to doing face-to-face classes. I think it goes a lot better.
So, I guess the next question is, it's a two-part question. When do you feel that it's necessary to sound the sirens in your county? Is it do you, when it's like maybe a county or two away, or do you guys wait until it's in your county? And do you ever worry when you sound the sirens and severe weather doesn't hit that people might tend to ignore it when needed most?
As far as the first part, I'm usually listening to National Weather Service. I'm kind of watching, a day or two ahead, that heads up, and then when they do an issue that alert like that, our local 911 dispatch also gets those alerts. So put out a tornado warning for southern part of the county, they will automatically set off the tornado sirens for the southern and part of the county, zones within our county. Out. Where it goes for southern part of the county, then north and central. Yeah, if it's in central, then all three. We do constant education about the tornado sirens. We have 43 tornado sirens stationed around the county, and we're constantly doing public education on those sirens. What the 1 minute sound is for, what the 3 minute sound is for. When we do the monthly testing, and of course with severe weather week this week, we're doing the test tomorrow at 9:50 along with the state. So people are pretty good about it, and we also have to remind them that the sirens are good, but they're meant for outside. If you're in your house, they're not really designed to be heard in your house. Although if you're close enough, of course you will. But so if you're, outside, they're there for that. If you're inside, you should have that severe weather radio to get those alerts in there like that. We sell those here at our office. Our CERT or our LAPC actually buys them and resells them at cost. So it's the exact same cost that we're paying for them. And we try to get that message out to people. Local radio stations are very good too. If we have any severe weather coming, particularly in the wintertime, this type of thing, they'll either do a remote with me, or they'll actually have me in the studio talking about the weather that's coming or how to prepare for the storm, this type of thing. So they're very good about doing that.
Since you mentioned it, just a quick follow-up question. For those people that might not know,
Mm-hmm.
when you said the 3-minute warning and the 1-minute warning, can you elaborate on that?
For our county, some counties may be different, but for our county, the 1 minute is simply the testing mode and/or all clear, and the 3 minute is the actual warning time. So if there is a tornado warning issued for whatever part of the county, it's the 3 minute tone.
So during severe weather events, can you explain to people how difficult it is to maintain safety for your county while also having to coordinate possible search and rescue or life-saving operations at the same time? So let's say, unfortunately, a tornado hits somewhere in your county. Can you kind of explain how, if there's severe weather still out there, how you can balance still keeping people up to date while at the same time, um, also coordinating the search and rescue and stuff like that.
Right. Here back about 2 years ago, we had a tornado actually come through Shelby, which is kind of northwest. And during that time, of course, a tornado warning was issued, shelter, this type thing. And afterwards, passed through, try to get more information out to the local radio stations, local TV station. Don't go outside yet. Stay in your house. Assessing the damage. We have first responders out and about. So give them time to make their assessment. People to assess the damage of what's going on. Got on the roadway trying to unintentionally or hindering the first responders. Actually went just south of downtown Shelby, right along the main drag going into Shelby. They had a 4-lane highway completely shut down. Ship and a couple of the buildings, power lines down. Telling people, hey, we got wires down, stay away, stay at home.
Okay, I've got a quick question for you. What credentials are required to become an EMA director?
Again, it's going to go back to your individual counties of what they're looking for. I mean, of course, any training that you may have. My background was in first responder. I was here for many years, so I knew a lot of the players within the county. Who the trustees were, who the commissioners were, who the mayors are, who's the fire chiefs, police chiefs, the big groups, organizations. So I already had that knowledge with me, what I could bring in. But any background that you can have in emergency management, now have degrees out there for the emergency management. We're seeing a lot more of that nowadays, 2 and 4 year degrees for that. So that helps. And there is some training. The state emergency management agency puts on training for new EM managers coming in. So you can also take that. FEMA does a lot of training. So any of those FEMA classes, 7, 8, good classes, all good to have.
Um, you said you've been around for about 7 years. So, what is the worst severe weather you've seen since you've been with the EMA? And what is the easiest, most difficult things you had to deal with during that event?
It was probably the tornado in Shelby. Prior to that, there was some flooding. Nothing really great flooding, but our normal spots had some flooding in it going on. Some of the hazardous material spills have been involved with that, but probably the tornado in Shelby, probably the biggest. And that was just trying to, as weather reports came in, a possible tornado hit. So I had to start going then, so I went and left the house. Just passed through Shelby. So I was in contact with the Shelby Police Department, the Shelby Fire Department. We had a command post set up at the police department, making decisions out of that office there. Of course, the first thing is life safety, trying to account for everybody, keeping the also, but then also the rescue. Probably the biggest.
Okay,
Right.
another question for you. We're almost done with your questions, right?
That's all right.
Um, from an EMA director standpoint, why is the Skywarn spotter program important to you?
They're my eyes out there in the whole county. I'm an office of two. I've got myself and my administrative assistant. So it's hard to be a lot of different places. By having them out there reporting back gives me the overview of what the county is going to do, what's happening. They're very important. One of the other that's one of the main reasons.
As an EMA director, if there's one thing you could fix or change about our current watch or warning system, what would it be and why?
I don't know if it really changed anything right now. I know Cleveland National has put out a couple surveys changing some of the format, how they present that information. So I guess if there's any way to make it easier to disseminate that information to the public, keep it simple, you know, what's what's coming, what's happening, what happened. Simple and
Yeah, I do believe I saw a post that the National Weather Service said, I believe it's in 2024, they're going to do away with the term advisories, and they're going to make it a more mainstream process at that point.
they're very good about that. The nationalism is very good about asking, "What do you think?" We'll send out surveys to all the EMs in Ohio, asking, what can we do to improve? How can we get the message out to you so it's understandable? Is it easy to present to everybody? It can be disseminate the information out. So yeah, they're always working to make it better.
Okay, now as an EMA director, how important is it for you to maintain public awareness of the different types of severe weather events, and what do you do in your county to help stay informed?
I'm sorry, what was the last part of your question?
Okay. Um, let's go the whole thing again. As an
Okay.
EMA director, how important is it to you to maintain public awareness of the different types of severe weather events? And what do you do in your county to help stay informed? To
Okay.
keep your county informed,
Yeah,
I should say.
I do a lot of speaking engagements to different groups, church groups, business organizations, chambers of commerce, again, on the radio, on TV, doing those public announcements like that. I prepare for severe weather, all kinds of severe weather way. And it's a constant thing we're always doing, never stopping. We are a storm ready county, so by doing that, it's maintaining our status as storm ready. So we're continual thing.
Well, Rick, you'll be glad to know the Q&A portion is done. So we're going to step back from the mics. And if there's anything that you want to plug, if there's anything that you want us to let the public know about, the floor is yours. We'll go ahead and give you some time to just give your thoughts and opinions and get out what you want to get out to the public.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you for having me. I do appreciate that. Helps get the message out there, and that's what If anybody has any questions about their county like that, definitely contact their county emergency management director and talk to them. They'll always be glad to sit down and talk to you about how the county operates, how they can help out, them out. So it's all about partnerships, partnering with everybody in the county we possibly can. Say, what can I do for you to help you maintain weather awareness? Always.
We thank you so much for your time, Rick. This has been very enjoyable, and we've learned an awful lot.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Glad,
Thank you.
glad.
Thank you very much, Rick. And you know, it's good to see that, we are Skywarn trained. I have NIMS training, but it's good to see that, when it all comes down, the EMA directors, Skywarn, we all have the same goal in mind, and that's to keep the public safe. And that's our number one mission, and that's it's good to see that we can get people like you on board and getting these types of videos out so the public can not only be aware but see actually what it does take during severe weather days for all of us to operate uh, at full capacity.
As you said, it's all about the public. They're number one. That's why we're here doing this job. Is to maintain their safety. Them. and I appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Once again, everybody, special thank you to Rick Evans for joining us this evening. My name is Matthew Jacobs, President of Media Relations with Ohio Weather Specialist.
And I'm Jeremy Fabian, CEO and founder of Ohio Weather Specialist.
Remember to follow us on all forms of social media at Twitter, OWS 2019, at Ohio Weather Specialist on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And Instagram. I'm sorry.
Instagram.
And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for all things weather related. And you have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.